For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, than, after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. But it is happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. 2 Peter 2:21-22. When you have first glimpsed the way of righteousness, when you have sensed in your heart that unseen kingdom unfolding, you stand upon a shore forever changed. Yet if, after that birth of light, you slip back into your old murk, you betray the very vision that set you free. This is the proverb of the dog and the sow. You may have been washed, may have touched the feast of form perfected, yet the moment you remember the old mire more vividly than you imagine the new, you return to it. Scripture warns, better never to have known than to know and then turn aside. Why? Because that knowing was no mere memory. It was an imaginal act, a living seed sown in the fertile soil of your consciousness. If you pluck that seed back into remembrance and let it lie cold, the world you have shaped with it collapses, and you find yourself once more in the stale odor of your past patterns. Keep, then, the commandment alive in your present tense. Do not say, I once tasted the banquet, but rather sit still at the table now. Muster every detail, the crystal glass, the flicker of candlelight, the ring of laughter, until form becomes your garment, and you dwell continually in that feast. Influence no outward boss or friend. Influence only your own divine imagining. Let the bread and wine of your scene feed you day by day, until you have no desire for the mire you left behind. Thus the dog remains off his vomit, the sow finds her purity undisturbed. Not by striving in the world, but by sustaining the inner vision, do you keep the way of righteousness. In this way you honor the holy commandment written upon your heart. Believe continually, imagine truly, and the kingdom is yours now and forever. In 2 Peter 2:21-22, we meet two inner attitudes, one who awakens to a higher self, the way of righteousness, and one who, after that awakening, slips back into old beliefs and habits. Psychologically, this describes the tension between our renewed, creative self freshly charged by insight and our familiar self comforted by past patterns. The dog returning to its vomit is the ego's way of retreating into old thoughts the moment we cease to hold the new vision. Metaphysically, Peter is sketching the law of cause and effect as exercised in consciousness. The way of righteousness is nothing but the disciplined imaginal act born of faith in our divine I Am. When we first imagine a desired state, wealth, health, or higher purpose, we plant a seed. But if we withdraw attention and lapse into mere memory of past failure, that seed withers, and the subconscious reverts to its former nutrition, the old unhelpful scenario. Turning from the holy commandment is simply dropping the imaginal bridge that sustains manifestation. This verse quietly reveals your sovereign creative power, the ability to sustain in imagination a single, clear form and let it shape your outer world. You are both the prophet who hears the commandment and the soil in which its seed grows. Knowing the way means you already share in the divine mind. Slipping back shows that you alone determine whether that divine pattern bears fruit. Begin by settling on the precise outcome you wish to see manifested. Perhaps the celebration of a well-earned promotion, the full restoration of health, or the warmth of a deeply loving relationship. Once that end state is clear in your mind, allow your imagination to construct a banquet or intimate gathering in which your desire is already fulfilled. Notice the table laid out before you, hear the heartfelt toasts being raised in your honor, and feel the quiet gratitude that moves through every corner of the room as though this celebration is happening right now. Make a daily practice of dwelling in this inner scene, even if only for a few minutes. Whenever doubts, fears, or old memories surface, simply and compassionately guide your attention back to the banquet without condemning yourself. In this way, you strengthen the new pattern of thought. At the same time, release any urge to direct external circumstances or to name the exact people who must act. Trust that by holding this vivid vision, your imaginative act will draw to you the right partners, opportunities, and resources. When you refuse to turn from the commandment, that is, when you resist slipping back into familiar mental patterns, you breathe life into these ancient teachings. Your awakened imagination then becomes the living promise through which the world is shaped and guided.